welcome back to my kitchen for another Tasty Tuesday. And if you follow us regularly, you know that we just spent a couple of months in Hawaii. And I actually did a couple of Tasty Tuesdays while we're in Hawaii. And one of them was about takeout foods that are popular in Hawaii. And we talked about a food called Musubi, which is a spam and rice wrapped little morsel that is so popular in Hawaii. And in fact, we ended up eating them almost every day. So I really wanted to try to make them here at home. So this is my first time making musubi, so we're learning together. And one thing I was kind of surprised about when I went to find a musubi recipe was how much sugar is in it. Because it's so good and I ate so many and now I realize, oh my gosh, but still really worth it. So let me walk you through these steps and we'll see if we can make this happen together. So for the last hour, I've had my spam that I sliced into, I think I had 7 or 8 slices here, 8. And it's been marinating in a half a cup of low sodium soy sauce, 4 tablespoons of sugar, 2.5 tablespoons of mirin. What is mirin, by the way? Mirin, a lot of people think mirin and rice vinegar are the same. They're not exactly the same. Mirin, it has more of a earthy flavor. You could probably use rice vinegar, but mirin will give you the more authentic taste. In Japan, they use a word called umami, which means a rich, deep flavor. And that's what you get from using mirin. So my spam, I soaked it for 30 minutes, turned it over, and soaked it another 30 minutes. And now we're gonna put it on the stove. I've got a nonstick frying pan here. I'm gonna bring it up to heat. I put a little bit of cooking spray in there. And we're gonna cook it about 2 minutes per side. You want it to have a little bit of crispiness, and the sugar obviously will help make that happen. Then we're going to take, maybe a little too hot. Then we're gonna take the sauce and reduce it down because we're going to use that marinade. Spam was part of the Army and Navy in World War II in Hawaii, and after World War II was over, spam remained and is still very popular in Hawaii. So now I'm going to take this marinade. We're going to reduce it on the stovetop, thicken it up a little bit, and we have 2 uses for that in just a moment. While the spam is cooking, I'll share with you that I have 2 cups of Japanese sticky rice, and I have nori. I've taken 3 sheets of nori and cut them into strips about this size. And you can find nori pretty much at any grocery store. You don't need to go to an Asian market. And in Hawaii, they use a musubi press. I don't have one, although I looked on Amazon, they're like $5.99. I should have bought one. We took the can of spam and cut it, and hopefully, I'm hoping that's gonna work. So we'll see. Might take a little effort. Now, a lot of people don't like spam, partly because if you grew up in the 60s and 70s, my mom anyway, always had spam in the cupboard, and we had it in casseroles and we had it on sandwiches. It's quite salty, but if you want to try this very popular Hawaiian food, you can't do it without spam. We did have one musubi that was made with katsu chicken, but that's not musubi. You need to have spam. I'm taking 1 piece of nori, which is seaweed, if you don't know that. I'm taking our mold and placing it right in the middle. And now I'm taking, I think using my hands is probably the best thing for this. I'm putting some sticky rice. Just pushing it down. If you have a Musubi maker, it has a little press that you push it down with. Let me check my spam. I'm turning this off. My sauce is boiling, which is good. I'm turning it down. We'll let it go just another minute. All right, so I have my sticky rice in my little mold here. I'm taking some of this reduced marinade and I'm just dabbing it on top here of the rice. Not too much because you don't want it to get too wet. And then on top of that, I'm putting some black sesame seeds. You could use regular sesame seeds, but I think the black looks really pretty. And now we're placing a piece of fried Spam. And when you get this in Hawaii, it's always served warm, but you can also wrap it in some cellophane. Oh, look at that, it came right off. You can wrap it in some cellophane and zap it in the oven. Now, to get the nori to stick, I'm putting a little bit of water on each end. I'm just wrapping it around. Let's put a little here too. Well, that is super easy. It looks beautiful. Press it in there really good. This is Cow Rose sticky rice, which is an Asian brand that we get here in the Pacific Northwest, and I find it to be the best one as far as anything to do with, when you want the rice to really hold together for sushi or any other thing like that. And there's our sauce. A little bit of black sesame seeds. Now, when I serve this, I'm going to serve it with the sauce, the reduced sauce, which is kind of thick now, for dipping. When we had it in Hawaii, it was often just served with soy sauce. All right, there's my second one. I'm pretty happy how easy that was without the official Musubi mold. So there it is, my very first Musubi, Spam Musubi from Hawaii. We're gonna have this for breakfast and enjoy. Super easy, you should try it. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen. I'll see you next Tuesday.